Hey everyone, my name is Leah Pearson, and I have been an ambassador with Plexus for just over 4 years now. And I am joined by my really good friend Jaime. And tonight we both get to share our stories with you in hopes that that is just going to encourage you and bring clarity as you explore Plexus for the health benefits and also for the income opportunity. And I'm going to let Jaime share first. Like I said, she's a really good friend of mine who actually helped me get started with Plexus. And I owe so much of my success and my healing and my growth and all the things to her. She's been a huge part of that. And she's really one of the most caring people that I know and has invested so much in me and so many other people. And I say that because she's on this call tonight because she cares about you. Like she just cares about people and she cares about you who's listening out there, even if you're watching the recording. And even though she's never met you, she wants to invest in you. And she's going to share her story. And I am too, like I said, with just conviction and hope because we want to help inspire others. And I know you're going to be blessed by what she says. So, Jaime, I'll let you share your story and then I'll come back and share mine and close us out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for joining or catching this later. And my story starts back, it was 9 years ago, actually. And really, what I was looking for was just a good quality probiotic and multivitamin. And it's not because I necessarily valued those things yet. I didn't really know much about it. I wasn't taking any, but I kept hearing more about how important those things were. And you might be hearing now a lot about gut health and the importance of that. That's kind of the buzzword everywhere now. And 9 years ago, that was something that Plexus was all about. And I didn't know much about it, but I knew that I wanted to be preventative with my health. My mom had just gotten diagnosed with the same thing that my grandma has, and I didn't want to wait for a diagnosis. I didn't want to wait to not feel good and then be backpedaling. So I just wanted to do what I could now. So that's what drew me in. I was really excited to find out about Plexus and the good quality products and all the things. But beyond that, I will also say my what I thought was my normal didn't have to be my normal. And so I came in thinking I didn't really have any health issues. Not, I'm just doing this because it's good for me. But I didn't know that it was, like I thought waking up and being exhausted was normal, or feeling exhausted in the middle of the day, or, just skin issues and, things popping up, or getting a cold and having it last for like an entire month and not being able to kick it. All of these things I just thought were, hey, this is just life. And I think that's what a lot of people can get caught in, like, well, this is just my normal, whatever your normal is. And a lot of times it's not. It comes back to fueling our bodies with what it needs and our gut health. And I found that through Plexus, I did feel much better. I had that energy all day. My skin was clear. My time of the months were better. My immune system was in so much better. So many things that matter and is so good. I remember starting and just before I actually started seeing testimonies out there, right? And I didn't necessarily relate to all of them, but one reminded me of my mom, and then another one reminded me of my dad, and then another one reminded me of my good friend Liz. And I'm like, if this could help them, then why not my mom? Why not my dad? So I sat them down, I read them testimonies out loud, and this was before I even started actually. And I said, I mean, if this could help these people, you should try this. Maybe this could help you too. So I didn't know everything. And my story isn't even their story. I didn't need to have them see how it helped me per se. I cared. I cared so much. I'm like, listen, you need to take this if this could also help you. So that is kind of what got me started sharing from the beginning, just because I wanted to help my friends and family with something that I thought was an option. Just like I'd recommend, my favorite restaurant if I absolutely loved it and I wanted my friends to check it out because it was that great. Also, shortly after I got started, I did not know this at the time, but I ended up sitting down with my husband and we had a talk, and I was going to have to go back to work to make ends meet just because financially numbers were not adding up. And I remember being really devastated. I cried, I was upset. And I know going back to work, a lot of people work from home and have kids, and that's fantastic. But for me, as a mom and as someone who, I had remembered this as far back as I could remember, I wanted to stay home with my littles, and to just have that option ripped from me and not even have a choice to do that was really, really hard. So I just wanted options. I wanted that choice. And thankfully, because of Plexus, I started doing this, and I'm like, give me a few months. I think this could, be my way to stay home with my kids. And thankfully I was able to stay home and not only make that part-time income, but then that full-time, and then and beyond my last full-time job prior to having kids. So it not only provided that, but it relieved the burden of like Christian education and trying to figure that out, the worries of filling up the gas tank and just the living paycheck to paycheck that comes with those stressors each day that you're worrying about that. It allowed us to give back more than we ever thought. It allowed us to dream bigger and open up doors for other business adventures, and to buy our dream home most recently that we are so very thankful for. So it opened those doors for us. And even more so, it allowed me to be a part of a community that is making an impact. It allowed there to be a ripple effect that not only just helped me, but I could connect with my friends and family, and they could help theirs. So it was more than just what this was then doing for me, but it was what it was doing for other people. What I found out, because when I started this business, I had a very small network. I didn't know a lot of people. I was from a small town. I was pretty quiet around people I didn't know. I was a very self-conscious person. So this was not my cup of tea. This is not something I saw out. No one, people who knew me were like, what is she doing? This is not normal for Jaime. So you sometimes think this has to be like for certain people, and that is definitely not the case. And what I really found out was it's not about being an influencer. It's not about being a certain personality, or whatever that is. It's about just talking to the people offering a solution. And you know what? They were looking for a solution. The friends that I connected with, they were looking for something. And when they found that, some of them also wanted to share with their people. And that's how this turned into a business. I can do things that are new to me, even when it stretches me, and that makes me a better person. And I can stop worrying about what other people think when I can take the focus off myself and realize this isn't about me and it's about other people. So I love being a part of something that is bigger than myself and something that has stretched me and it's been a community of growth and of leadership development. And, at the end of the day, it's about other people too, right? So what if this is your answer? What if this is the answer not only for you, but for people that you know? And you could be that connecting point for them as well. So be it your health or be it financial opportunity, this is an incredible thing to look at the very least, if not lean into. So I encourage you to ask the questions, ask your friend their story who invited you, and just be open to learning more.
I love that. I've heard your story a million times, but it never gets old. Because, like you said, it's impact, it's people. I love it. So, again, my name is Leah. A little bit of background on me. I've always been a very healthy person. I have a health background. I actually was even a personal trainer for a while before I had kids. But about 7 years ago, in my mid 20s, I had several crazy health issues pop up, several of which landed me in the hospital multiple times, multiple surgeries just within a few short years. So I was not the generally healthy person that Jaime was. I went from being a super healthy person to barely being able to get out of bed, couldn't even walk down my driveway. And I think that was probably the most humbling part of my journey. Like I couldn't even go get my mail or do the day-to-day things. I had several complications after surgery, a lot of things that doctors said I would deal with for the rest of my life. Pain all over my body. For quite a while, I was on a liquid diet. I could not even actually eat food, nerve pain, debilitating fatigue, all kinds of stuff. I literally felt like I saw my days passing before my eyes, watching my kids from the couch or bed, and really just mourning the mom that I thought I was going to be, but could not be because of my physical struggles. And Jamie, who you just heard from, reached out to me about Plexus. She had no idea that I was struggling with all those things, and she shared info with me about how Plexus was different from other supplements out there because it addresses root issues in your body. So I was already a very crunchy, healthy person. I was on a probiotic. I was already taking supplements, eating clean, doing all the things, right? And nothing was helping. So honestly, I was a bit skeptical, thinking, is Plexus really going to make a difference for me since I'm already doing everything right? But I was desperate. So I jumped in and discontinued all of the other stuff I was trying. And within 2 weeks of starting Plexus, I basically went from bedridden to out of bed and just feeling normal and functioning like a human being. And I've been on the products for 4 years now. That's, of course, the short version of it. But 99% of those symptoms that doctors told me that I was going to deal with forever are gone. My intestines work, my memory loss is much improved, all the things. I don't have pain. But most of all, like I said, I'm not mourning the life that I really thought that I had lost forever, where I can be that hands-on mom. I was out playing in the waves of Lake Michigan just a couple of weeks ago with my kids, and that was such a gift to me. And I'm passionate about this because I can go out and do all that God has called me to do. So if you've had a rough road like I have physically, I really believe that these products are something that can help you. Or if you're somebody that's doing everything right, I still think that there's a place for these and it absolutely could help you and you'd benefit from these. Or like Jamie said, maybe you think you're healthy. I still think that you could benefit from the products. So Plexus literally gave my life back when doctors said, no, zero hope for normal life. And for that, I'm thankful. And I just want you to, like, I wanted to share that part of my story because I want you to take heart to that these products are different and that your story can be rewritten. And that's also why we are so passionate about sharing this opportunity with others as well, just so that more and more people can hear about this. So at the same time that I started the products, I also saw that there was a huge earning potential with Plexus too. That's something that Jamie talked to me about right away. And I knew I wanted to pursue it. So right away, as soon as I started my products, I just started asking people to join me on my journey, and I shared about my journey. And from that, an incredible stream of income was born. I jumped in with 2 feet. I was able to match my husband's ministry income with 2 months. Within 2 months, I was able to pay off the remainder of my student loans at the 3 month mark, and I was covering all of our bills at the 4 month mark of starting my business. And that was life changing. So since then, my business has continued to grow. It's blessed our family so much, you guys. We've been able to send my husband overseas doing missions 3 times in the last couple of years without having to raise support. Hallelujah. That was just amazing to just be able to send them. We've been able to buy reliable vehicles for the first time, cover homeschool costs, music lessons, giving back in bigger ways. Plexus really just has provided hope and breakthrough financially and health-wise. So that's why Jamie and I both like to share about both of those aspects in case somebody's listening needs a breakthrough in either of those. Plexus has also given, just like Jamie said, us the ability to dream really big for our family. And I'm passionate about sharing that so that you know that you can dream big too. And honestly, I wish we were sitting down face to face over a cup of coffee so that I could look into your eyes and hear your story too. But this is as good as it's going to get. So I just kind of wanted to share one last thing that was really put on my heart as I prepared for this call. And I feel like this is a cup of coffee conversation. So that's why I said that. But I believe every single person has a unique ability and a unique group of people that you're called to impact in this world. And we're all wired to make a difference. That's something that's innate in you. And each of us has a piece of the world to make a difference in. And I know Jamie agrees with me. Plexus is not my purpose, but it is a vehicle to fulfilling my higher purpose. And it's given me a platform to bring hope to a world that desperately needs hope right now. And it's given me an atmosphere to grow and bloom into all that I was created to be. And I know that you heard Jamie say something very similar to that too. So I want to challenge you with this question. If time and money were no issue, what would your days look like? How would you spend your time with your family? What would that look like? And I think that's really hard for a lot of us to even go there with dreaming. So I'd love to share just kind of a blip of my heart to give you an example. When I started this business, health-wise, you heard I was not in a good place, but we were scraping by financially. And I had several people share online work from home opportunities with me over the years. And honestly, it just never caught my attention because I was a stay-at-home mom and I value being able to invest in my kids. That's why I'm a stay-at-home mom. So to me, I didn't think that it would be worthwhile to do a side hustle that maybe brought in a couple $100s a month while I missed family moments. Not sure if any of you can relate to that, or maybe you have different vision. Jamie and I both wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're a working mom who doesn't want to necessarily maybe spend the couple hours that you are home with your kids in the evenings on a side hustle that you're not making a whole lot of money on. So what caught my attention when Jamie shared about something so much bigger than a couple $100s a month, she sent me an income graphic, shared and just was open with me about her journey, that she was making really good money since her 1 year mark. She was over the 6-figure mark in her business. And that wasn't a like sales number, that was a take home number. I asked, I was like, is that like a sales number, or like that's actually what you're making? And that really got my wheels spinning, because I thought, what would life look like for our family if I could bring in over $100,000 a year from my phone from home? As a stay-at-home mom, a lot of money never really interested me before, if I'm being honest. That wasn't a goal of mine. I had planned being a stay-at-home mom and not making a ton, but she shared the flexibility of being able to work 15-minute increments at a time, or while the kids were sleeping. She showed me how this could be possible with my life. She talked about the flexibility and that this is different than any other work from home options, because Plexus is something that builds and brings in residual income that grows with time. And I'll never forget, she asked me that question that I asked you. She said, if time and money were no issue, what would your days look like? And that's when the light bulb went off for me. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you too. It isn't about the money, it's about the freedom this could give to fulfill my call and to spend my days doing what mattered most to me. And many of us do not even think about our purposes or what we would do with our time if we had more time freedom, because we don't even believe that we could have that time freedom, whether it's for you or your husband or your family as a whole. It really just seems like a myth or something too be good to be true. But I leaned in and I just started dreaming about that, and dreaming about, okay, my husband being home more, because he had been gone nonstop, working since we first got married, out of town 6 days a week, and our kids just didn't see daddy. I thought about how we had been driving junker vehicles, and I was really sick of having to load up my 3 kids to go pick up my husband off the side of the road. And having money to buy a reliable car like we do now was very appealing to me. I thought about my husband quitting his corporate job because he had wanted to serve in ministry, but then when he was in ministry, he was stretched so thin, working in so many side jobs to make ends meet. And this is something that could provide that, so that he would not be stretched so thin, and we were able to serve our community like we wanted to. So that is examples for me. And I just want to ask you, how would you want to spend your days if you had that time and financial freedom? So often you cannot have both of those things, because you can have time freedom, but not quite enough time, not quite enough to get by financially, or you can be a slave to your job and then not have that time freedom, right? And you can't put those most important things first. And that is what is so unique about what we have here. Plexus provides both of those things. So this opportunity, I share all of that because this is so much bigger than you could imagine. And all of those things are really what made me realize that, yes, it would absolutely be worthwhile to start building this business. And I hope you can see the value in that too, so that you can go and fulfill your purpose as well. So I want to leave a couple questions with you tonight, and I would love to have you reach out to the person that invited you here. Jot down your answers to these, and I know that they would love to hear your answers and just kind of have a conversation with you on this. So number one, what kind of financial goals do you have? Do you want to pay off any debt, save for college, like for your kids, house renovations? What's on your heart as far as financial goals is number one. Number two, how do you like to spend your free time? And if you're a mom, you probably laughed at that because you're like, what free time? But if you had a free day, like think about it, how would you like to fill that time? And better yet, if you had a full bank account and your calendar was empty, like I said before, how would you spend that free time? What would that look like for you? And then also, if you could wave a magic wand and have any health struggle disappear, what would it be? And then lastly, what is your biggest hesitation with starting Plexus? Would love to have you, like I said, connect with the person that invited you here. I know that they're going to want to hear those. And that's all I have for you. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And I hope you have a good night.